All right, now we're going to take a look at both session and local storage sessions in the browser with some code itself. And once again, I want to remind you that both local and session storages are APIs. It's not part of the JavaScript language itself. Okay, if you look up the JavaScript specs, you will not see local and session storage, and you will not see the DOM because both of those are APIs. Now, since they're APIs, it means you can do window.local storage like we talked about before, right? But we all know that if it lives in the window object, we do not need it. So how do we check if something has local or session storage? Well, instead of going to the console, you're going to go to the tab called application. Now, if you look at local storage, I already put in two things. I put name is Phil and am I cool, which is yes. Session storage, that means this session for this website. There's nothing in here yet. Okay, now let's go to console, local storage, dot clear. This is the first method. I'm going to show you it's the easiest one. There's no arguments, you just clear it. Let's go back. Local storage right here. You see that the name and the am I cool is gone. Okay, so for local storage, you have to manually clear the keys and the values, because if you don't, it's going to live in here forever. And I think the maximum size they allow you for local storage is 10 megabytes, and session storages are 5 megabytes. But you can only store text, so that means you can actually store a lot of things. Okay. All right. Now, what happens if we want to put something back here since we just cleared it? Well, you can do something like, whoops, let me open up back up the console. You can do local storage, and there's something called set item. Okay, and I would just put in name, and my name's Phil. What does set item do? Well, set item, its first argument is the key, and it will put whatever you put as the key into the local storage object as a key. Same thing with the value. So when I press enter and I go back to application, you will see this right away. Okay, now this means when we close this tab, it should still exist, right? Let's try that. Let me copy and paste this URL, open a new tab, close this tab, go back, go to applications. Yep, it's still there. Cool, huh? And so remember, the only way to clear it is using the dot clear. Okay. Now let's try session storage. Session storage dot set item. Let's do the age since it's already here. Age is 33. Go back to applications. Open up session storage. This tab. Now, if you're wondering what's this tab right here under session and under local, these are just standing for the current tabs that you have open. So if you look at my current URL, it's just a live server from VS Code, and that matches this right here. If you open up like facebook.com, this will say facebook.com. Okay. All right. So now, session storage, it should have the age in it. Application, session storage, it does have the age in it. But for the session, I can refresh. I press it like 5 times, and it will still be there. But if I close it, put it here, and I close this, is it gone or is it still there? It's gone. Okay. So if you refresh during a session storage, it stays there. If you accidentally close the tab, it's gone. If you want to do it so when you close the tab, it's still there, and when you close the browser, it's still there, do it in local storage. Okay. Now, you see there's other types of storages like IndexedDB, WebSQL cookies. Those are all a little bit too advanced for this course, but I really do urge you to MDN these or at least Google them, so you kind of have an idea what it is. And you should all know what cookies kind of are by now, okay? All right, guys, let's move on to how we can get things from local and session storage instead of just setting them, right?